Absolutely. But let's hop right into this right here
Yeah.
because it's a very important subject right here. Trump floats foreign imprisonment of American criminals who are repeat offenders.
And then here, before you start here, I want you to read your article, but I want to show everybody this video really quick of him saying it so there's no
Hey,
confusion.
and this is subject to getting it approved, but if they've been arrested many, many times, they're repeat offenders by many numbers. I want them out of our country. I also will be seeking permission to do so. We're going to get approval, hopefully, to get them the hell out of our country along with others. Let them be brought to a foreign land and maintained by others for a very small fee as opposed to be maintained in our jails for massive amounts of money, including the private prison companies that charge us a fortune. Now, let them be brought out of our country and let them live there for a while. Let's see how they like
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah, right then and
Pre-
there. Yeah.
yeah, President Donald Trump suggests Monday that United States could pay a small fee to foreign countries to imprison Americans who are repeat criminal offenders, floating a kind of modern day penal colony. Trump billed the idea as cost saving measures in a remark at a conference for House Republicans in Miami. If they've been arrested many, many times, if they're repeat offenders by many numbers, I want them out of our country, he said. We're going to get approval, hopefully, to get them the hell out of our country, along with others. Let them be brought to a foreign land and maintained by others for a small fee. So, I mean, we just watched the video. So that's what he said. We have to go back a little bit in history and understand who this is meant for, because when we when back in I think the Emancipation Proclamation took place, slaves were freed. They know Southern landowners and Southern government kind of came up with a plan to be able to get black people back into slavery. They made vagrancy laws, which said if you didn't have a job, they could then take you back and put you back into slavery.
Yeah, and
And
they'd
then
have to put you in the prison or whatnot. And then they also created the whole
and the con-
felony system to
yeah,
make it so you couldn't use your vote. And they
and then
predominantly, yeah,
The Constitution, the 14th Amendment says that a person can only become a slave. Slavery is abolished, but except for as punishment for a crime. And so that's why they made these laws the way that they did. And so, who do you think that they weren't given jobs to? Black people. So who became part of the prison system? Black people. Fast forward, they got they made these crime bills. They made these drug laws focused on black people. Over policing focused on black people. So
yes.
who do you think they're coming for next? You know what I mean, they've already gotten these guys out the country. First, they want to tell us they want to send us outside the country to keep us in a penal colonies, pretty much. Then he wants to say that, hey, you know what I'm gonna do also is I'm gonna get rid of your citizenship. You're no longer a citizen of this country. That's illegal. It's not unconstitutional. He's talking about sending them to El Salvador. We've done a segment about those guys in El
Yes.
Salvador and what's going on down there. They got prisons where basically keep the light on all night long. Everyone stays up in one room, basically sitting up in one room on hard like steel beds, and without even any kind of like comforter on top, nothing, no covers, no nothing. They play music all night long to keep them up. It's just like it's unconstitutional. It's
And
unconscionable.
think about this, sir. I mean, I have a criminal record. I don't know if you do or not,
Yes,
but
sir.
I mean, how retroactive are they going to go? You know, you already saw how far they went back with the Tuskegee when they tried to get rid of their curriculum at the Air Force. I mean, they backtracked on it because they got so much uproar from service members and everybody else. They changed it, but I mean, how retroactive are they going to be? Are they
Oh,
going to be like, well, you know, we're going to start from the civil rights, and then they can ship anybody out of here because what they do to black folks is they ding you with little things. Boom, they hit you with this a little small misdemeanor, then another misdemeanor, then they hit you with a felony, and they have no grace, no mercy for you. The only reason there's grace and mercy now is because the opioid epidemic ravaged their
absolutely.
own communities where they had to stop giving people time because before, if you got caught with 5 pills, you had to do a mandatory minimum, or if one pill is a mandatory minimum 5 years. And sir,
Let's think about it from this perspective as well. Like they always say that black people you guys commit the most crimes, but in reality, it's not true. We're just
yeah,
over policed in our neighborhoods. If you look at like you said, the opioid crisis and even fentanyl, all the deaths that were happening, they were happening disproportionately in the white neighborhoods. So that tells you there's a lot of crime occurring. There's a drug deal is a crime. And so whatever else is theft, whatever else, those are all crimes,
well,
whatever those crimes may be.
think
Hold on,
about this. Go
let me
ahead,
finish.
finish. Yeah.
And at the same time, it was so bad during that time that you guys brought down the life expectancy in America. That's how bad that epidemic has been for this country. So there's rampant crime in white communities, but they're just not being over policed like communities of color. So that's why it looks disproportionately towards blacks. And that's what they'll continue to do. He's already talked about going into Chicago and other areas to clean up the streets. What do you think he's going to do? You know what I mean? What do you think he's going to do?
And think about it. Think about
everybody with crimes.
And think about once you get all the regular criminals out, right, and somebody comes up and tries to videotape you, who says they don't hit you with two charges right then and there and just deport you out the country? No one's going to say a word. Every article I've seen where they're talking about someone's been deported or whatever, they have a black, an African, or a Haitian on there. You know what I'm saying? And it's all propaganda. They've been playing this for a long time, and that's and it's easier to try to throw us out because, like I said, I've said this many a times. Once they get done with the migrants, who do you think they're coming for? They're gonna get us out of there. They're gonna get anybody that aided and abetted the migrants, that helped us. They're gonna get all the people that they look at undesirable out of this country. Black folks, we've been here before. We ain't have no love in this country. What we need to stop doing is being so welcoming. You know what I'm saying? We got who we got with us, and everyone else needs to fucking kick rocks at the end of the day.
You got to start standing up a lot more.
We have to fend for ourselves because I'm telling you, they're gonna pull your grandma over, hit her with 2 quick charges, and deport her.
Or even ask her. I mean, right now you could even look at it like this: How do you get to a point to where you can actually prove your citizenship if they ask for your papers? How do you prove your citizenship?
They say they had an article. We didn't get to it or whatever, but they're telling people if you're black or brown, you better carry around your birth certificate.
But even then, they said that's not a actual means of proving your citizenship. They said identification is not even an actual means of proving your citizenship. Yeah, because that proves that you were born here.
And they're holding people for about 7 hours to figure out who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Like that doesn't mean that means you're a citizen of this country. You get what I'm saying? So I mean, at the end of the day,
they rounded up a couple people, a couple American citizens. They even got a veteran, and he was rounded up with the rest of them. He's like, no, I'm an American citizen. He had to go sit in holding, couldn't use his phone, couldn't make no outside contacts, because to them you have no rights until they prove who you are, because you're not a U.S. citizen. That's how they're treating you. And so the people you're sitting in holding basically until they decide when they want to figure out if you're a real person. And if your thumb ain't in that system, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be sitting there longer. But if your thumb's in that system, now they might have a reason to deport you.
And if you're not amicable during the process of them telling you that you're not a citizen and them putting you in jail, if you're not happy about the situation, they might leave you in there a little bit longer just to teach you a lesson.
Well, what's that called? Resisting arrest. That's a charge. Boom. Because they wanted to arrest you. They can get you assault on an officer. That's 2 charges. And you're assaulting the police. You know, say if you're a January 6th, you could go free. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. But since you're a black man, they're going to hit you with that. That's too quick. Well, you're undesirable. Now we're going to hold you and we're going to kick you out.
Or a person who just may not be going for the system. I mean, you got to look at it like this. Say if somebody tries to stand up for you, even a white person. I mean, even not going to say white, a European person tries to stand up for you. They can hit them with here. Come on, let's go. You bring you along too. How do we know? You know, so that's how we have to look at this. On top of this same exact thing, we just really need to stay on point with this subject right here. But I do feel like this one kind of goes along with that.
Yeah, right there. When I saw that video last night, I almost jumped out of my seat. I said, damn, that's how they're going to come for us, huh? But I always told everyone they're going to come for us. And so that's just what it is. It's like, we can either unite or we can die separate. Because at the end of the day, black folks don't understand, bro. We've been beefing amongst ourselves, and I don't know why they keep kicking that bear. You don't want us to focus on one thing. You can't take most people. You can't come at us like that. We ain't gonna bend over and fall back. Now we saw what the videos look like of slavery. I ain't going back to that. You ain't putting me in no shackles. This is a new day. We can all own guns. You know what I'm saying?
And that's how it's gonna have to. That's how it's gonna have to be. I'm starting to see.
You want millions of black people to focus on a common enemy instead of ourselves? Go ahead and do it. See how that's gonna help you, bro. Because you can't take the loss like us. I see black people die by the police almost once a week. It's like a free movie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we have so much trauma in the black community we don't even address, and we taking it out on each other. Now you want us to go ahead, do what you got to do.
I'm watching it play out online. I'm watching a lot of different people speaking on this subject. I had someone come on my page and basically like, we can send them out the country for $3,000 a year. That's cheaper. How much it'll cost us.
It's cheaper.
And I'm like, this is what the thought process of these people are, and this is what we're dealing with here. We got.
Well, you remember you said Donald Trump just renewed. They just renewed the private prison stuff, right? That's what he was talking about. He was like, look, that's a lot of money we giving y'all. I can ship you out. You know what I'm saying? Send you out.
Get my cut and probably get my cut off the guy in El Salvador because it's another.
Exactly.
Let me